What's going on, fellow A-Plusers? It is I, your Morphinominal host, Adam Perez, back once again with a brand new video today as we're going live for our weekly episode of A-Plus Morphinominal, your weekly stop for your Power Rangers, Super Sentai, Kamen Rider, Ultraman, Tokusatsu news, and reviews right here, ladies and gentlemen. So thank you very much for certainly joining us here. Our first show of the new year, now that I really think about it. I know we were off not only for Christmas, but also for New Year's also. Doing a little bit of celebrating, if you enjoy some time with our friends and family this year. It was pretty magical, pretty special, especially with our newborn in tow, getting the opportunity for my parents to come in from out of state to visit us from Georgia and stuff. It was actually a really great holiday season. So I'm really glad that I spent as much time with my family as I certainly did. But listen, you guys are my family too. Kick off a brand new year, ladies and gentlemen. So if I haven't spoken to you over the holiday seasons, happy belated New Year's, belated Merry Christmas. I certainly hope each and every one of you guys definitely have. I want to say, like, over the past couple of days, my internet connection has been dropping. It's been a little bit slow, at least when I'm streaming. It's working great when I'm at work. I'm streaming, it's definitely having some issues. Now, I am going through Wi-Fi right now, so I am thinking sometime this week, and I'm just going to have to invest forward and maybe have like an actual direct connection to my laptop in regards to doing this, so that the audio, or at least video, doesn't look all fuzzy. Because I wound up getting a brand new camera and stuff this week. Apologies, guys. Apologies to be kicking off the New Year's certainly this way. Of Power Ranger-esque related topics that we're going to get into. CEO of Hasbro was officially announced. We got some David Yost stuff to certainly talk about today. We got Avataro Sentai Donbrothers, more rumors and some casting potential there as well as some Ultraman and Kamen Rider stuff for you guys. And then, of course, at the end of this episode, going and getting into your live viewer questions. If you want to know how to go ahead and submit your over to aplusmorphinominal at gmail.com. Again, that's aplusmorphinominal at gmail.com. Of questions that are already in my email account to certainly get to today. So hopefully we can definitely get through some of these topics and enjoy answering some of your questions towards the end of the episode, guys. So give you guys a heads up. We decided to no longer have our Patreon. So if you don't see like the Patreon link, Indy's been rather busy. Stuart, unfortunately, while he certainly is a part of our crew, he's not doing as much content. Hard to keep up with the demands of a Patreon. But one of the perks of being a part of our Patreon at the time was our Discord forum community. We actually did have that up for anybody that was part of our $1 tier, but since we no longer have our Patreon, we are in fact making that available to the public. So if you would like to join our Discord, there is a link in the description box below for you guys to certainly check out. And we got a plethora, plenty of different topics to talk about, not just all Power Rangers related. You can feel free to go ahead and begin any discussions. And we already have a couple of members over there that we usually like to chat when we're not busy doing live stream or content and things like that. So really great place to go ahead and continue to build our community outside of our YouTube channel. So if you guys want to go ahead and check out our Discord, again, there is a link in the description box below. Before we get into our topics, you guys know how we'd like to do around here, showing some love to the people that are definitely joining us in our live chat. So let me go ahead. We got Harka certainly coming through as always. I think Sarav just joined. I think I just got a notification. Sarav might have just joined our Discord. So thank you very much coming through. We also got Koala in the house as well today. Happy New Year 2022. 2022 is already here. It came rather quickly, honestly. And he says, I can't wait for Dino season 10th anniversary film. Yeah, a lot of stuff is definitely happening this year, to be kicking off the year, honestly, too. So I believe this week's episode of Zenkaiju, which I haven't had the chance to watch, is the debut of Don Momotaro, the 46th Super Sentai team, or at least Don Momotaro himself. So I am going to be checking out Zenkai this weekend. We'll have a review up for you guys later on this week. We also got Blossom certainly in the house, showing some love. Thank you very much, Blossom. Thank you for coming through. Edward Sanchez Productions. Thank you very much, Edward. Good to see you in here as always. So Rob certainly coming through, showing his support today. We got Jared in the house. Thank you very much. I'm doing well, man. Thank you very much for asking. We got Doomsday in the house, also saying Happy New Year 2022. I'm kind of curious how you guys celebrated. Hopefully, you guys had a great time celebrating, bringing in the new year, whether that be with loved ones, family, by your a glass of wine, a bottle of beer, or whatever your selection of liquor might have been. Who certainly knows? We got Kiva in the house. What's going on, Kiva? Thank you very much. I feel like not quite sure if I remember you being around here before, but if you are new to the channel, thank you very much for certainly showing your support today. Charles in the house too. We got Jordan always making her presence felt. Thank you very much. How Blossom says, "Holy camole, you cut your hair." Yeah, I guess is this the first time that you guys have seen me without a hair? I believe I've done a couple, I might have done a couple of videos already on APlus Morphinominal with the new wanted something new for the new year sort of thing. I don't want to say I felt like my curly fro didn't make it. Natural hair is in, so I'm pretty sure it will eventually grow back to that length. But in the meantime, I really wanted kind of a fresh start. And I remember cutting my hair and thinking to myself, I told my girlfriend, I said, babe, I probably should have cut my hair in the springtime or summertime, because now I'm feeling the breeze like all on the back of my little thing. So yeah, I definitely am looking forward to, if anything, I'm definitely looking forward to this hair certainly growing back, but I like it. I like it so far. I've had my hair short before, but it's been years. It's definitely has been years. The A Games 10 says, "Wow, camera quality is so good. I can't tell if your eyes are open or not." Yeah, they're definitely always open. The A Games 10, I promise you. But yeah, going out. So if it looks like it's buffering, I do apologize about that. It might be like that for the entirety of the show. I'll hopefully clear up as we get closer to the tabs open, as we're going to go through a bunch of stories today. We also got Ram, very much Ram GM for certainly coming through. So other than that, listen, as we definitely, as always, will have stragglers that certainly make their presence known, come in rather late, but once they do, certainly make them feel a part of this particular family and certainly welcome. Also, if you guys are in the live chat, as always, continue to support our that like button. Also, that big thumbs up definitely does go a long way, and feel free to always comment on our videos. Some of our topics for us to go ahead and break down for you guys today. One thing right off the top that I definitely need to let you guys know, to Hasbro in regards to finally posting more and more YouTube videos of past Power Rangers seasons. Over the past couple of months or so, they've been doing a hell of a job in regards to really dropping batches of episodes. They've actually completed quite a few seasons very, although I believe like Dino Charge, I think Ninja Steel is certainly still up. I believe Jungle Fury is sort of back to MMPR and certainly working their way up. So much and so much so now that Turbo is officially posted of Power Rangers in Space. So for those of you guys who are big fans of In Space, I believe maybe like the first 13 episodes of the season certainly might be up as of right now. So definitely go ahead and check it out. But they've been working at a better pace than what they certainly were previously. So I am quite thankful running and yeah, not the A game, not Ninja Steel. I did correct myself. It is one of those, it is still up on Netflix as of right now, but Fury, I believe, is up there also. And then you've got from MMPR all the way up until Turbo completed right now. And again, In Space is certainly up there also. And they may have a couple of other series for completed that I'm not aware of were before. So kudos to Hasbro for at least doing a better job in regards to that. Also, quick shout out to we have Sarav that joined our Discord, and 46. Thank you very much for certainly joining our Discord today as well. All right, guys. Let's go ahead and get into some of our main topics today because it should certainly be a fun time. Our first topic that we got to talk David Yost's birthday was in fact yesterday. I saw a ton of people, so certainly some well wishes. His birthday came a big celebration in regards to his upcoming or potential, I should say, potential upcoming series of Quantum Continuum. Now, we've talked about it here briefly a couple of times so far, maybe once or twice. News in regards to it, besides any time David Yost really comes out and speaks about it. I want to say back in December of 2020 was the announcement originally from him for the Mighty Morphin Power. Too much about it until recently. I want to say this past December, also at LA Comic Con, David Yost did certainly go ahead and talk a little bit more about Continuum. So if you guys are curious to know what the development so far or where he's at with this particular project, I do want to go ahead and bring this up real quick. There's certainly more to this article, but I definitely want to go ahead and bring this up real quick. Let me see here. I should have had this other page shared, but here we go. On David Yost planning a Power in it says after the initial freak out from the crowd when it was announced, David Yost went into some details on the Power Ranger reunion series. He has been writing it over the last year or so. He dubbed it Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Quantum Continuum. He hopes it will be an 8-episode series with the original cast returning to fight new evils. He describes it best as a mixture of Riverdale, Star Trek, and Power Rangers. However, the idea hasn't been picked up by Hasbro yet. Talks are underway, but nothing is signed or set in stone. He hopes to garner support from fans and get it trending online to make sure Hasbro notices it. With the help of generations of fans, Yost believes series soon. So he's looking, his mindset is already in that of an 8-episode. I mean, it could be limited, it could be ongoing. It says the original cast returning to fight new evils, an 8-episode series episodes. You know what I mean? I mean, granted, I think if it's successful, I guess also depending on what David Yost's script is like, if it's meant to simply just be 8 episodes done and that's it, just to kind of get caught up with the Rangers, I would be open to a limited series aspect too. But if it is rather successful, it would be interesting to kind of see where they go. Reunion series are super popular these days anyway. Getting the opportunity to see where have these characters gone in that particular time, right? It's been what, 28 plus years first began, how, you know, where they've been the past 25 years or so. I would love to see exactly how their careers, their lives have certainly progressed. explore when it comes to the idea of a reunion series. And so that's where Quantum Continuum certainly comes. Found interesting yesterday, and I had been notified of this over the past several weeks leading up to it. Over on Twitter, because of the fact that David Yost says, hey, listen, in order for Hasbro to really see that there is sort of a particular content, he clearly does some Continuum to be trending, or at least a lot of people certainly talking about it, or at least letting Hasbro really interested in. And so as of yesterday, this might have been in celebration of David Yost's big push in order to go trending. And so let's go ahead and bring this up yesterday, because I definitely took part in it myself. Shout out goes out to the Twitter handler at Nandita LOLOL. Again, that's at Nandita LOLOL, who wind up actually putting together this really tweeting begin. They let us know ahead of time, like, hey guys, Friday evening, 6 p.m. Central Time, we're going to be pushing the hell out of Quantum Continuum. And he did just that. A couple of my posts, I said, let's go. Revivals are the new big thing. And I would love to see MMPR cast in David Yost's Quantum Continuum. I think would make for a great original series for Hasbro's lineup of Power Rangers content. Let's make it happen. I believe David Yost himself even liked my comment. It's been and retweeted several times. A couple other comments that I wind up making too. Let's see here. I put up, oh, here's another comment that I made. MMPR is still a moneymaker and firmly ingrained in our pop culture today. Hope Hasbro takes advantage of that turn and what these characters are up to now. And so again, I believe David Yost liked that one as well. Retweeted also, and a bunch of people also partook in this. As you can see, a ton of people were liking and retweeting it. I want to say, as of right now, well, as of I want to say that Nandita, I think there was like 200 tweets or something like that. Didn't break the 1,000 mark as far as I know, but that was just simply as of yesterday. And I felt like when I went on Twitter as of today, there were even more people liking and retweeting some of our comments and things like that. So certainly hoping that Hasbro is definitely paying attention. We definitely tagged them in quite a few of these sort of things. So I think if there is a big surge, certainly a big push for it, definitely we'll certainly think about, right? And I feel like for me, I'm really not one of these people that I feel like I like all the time, right? Sometimes I don't necessarily think people listen to that. And bad thing, who certainly knows? But I do like the idea that who knows, maybe if it gets trending and it gets certainly role will definitely tackle. I guess for me, my biggest worry is I know that they are truly focused on the idea of reimagining, getting something brand new. And even though their moneymaker is MMPR at the end of the day, I do wonder if it's something that they worry about in a sense of has in mind for us and still juggle what we're doing, right? Can the casual moviegoer or audience viewer be able to understand that what we're creating is its own thing, and this MMPR thing is its own thing also? I mean, granted, who knows? Maybe there are still connective tissues between the reimagined and rebooted sort of Power Ranger franchise that Hasbro is certainly working on. That's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping that there's at least connective tissues to launch out the Jonathan and Whistle stuff, but not forget or completely erase certainly what came before. You know what I mean? So if they can have a really great balance like that, I think this would make for really great sort of original content. It is one of those things where I would like to see Hasbro start thinking a little bit more outside of the box. You know, don't think so much about the idea of giving us the same formulaic Power Rangers that we've had over the past 28 years. You know, do creative things, create spin-offs, create limited series off of movies and other television series that you're certainly creating, right? Maybe give us a show that focuses on a villain that becomes an anti-hero or something like that, right? I think if there is sort of any cast that certainly deserves to be revisited, sort of do live in a time period where reunion series, revivals, catching up on characters that we days, maybe even passing the torch on to sort of a new generation sort of idea. I think it would be really cool to have the and see where they're definitely at in their lives, how they're doing this Power Ranger or not. I would be interested to see. And granted, look, David Yost can certainly pitch this idea to Hasbro all he wants to. I am curious to know though, who out of this cast would want to return and who wouldn't. There's anybody like any mainstays that are firmly planting their feet like, hey, I don't want to revisit this character. I would be curious to know, like, are they willing to get back into the tights? Are they willing to go ahead and do that training regimen and get ready to go ahead and be Power Rangers once again? I think it would be pretty bad, incredibly gracefully. It would be so cool to kind of see them up on screen again. So when we are in a stage of limbo right now with Hasbro brand new content for Power Rangers, I think the idea of a quantum continuum would be a perfect addition to brand new content and creating. I think if you want to create your reimagined and reboot sort of thing, I think you can have your cake and certainly eat it too by continuing along with the MMPR reunion series. Again, no, he says it's an 8-episode series. Not quite sure if that's just going to mean for just one season or if he has potential other seasons in mind. Definitely would be something fun. Definitely go ahead and go back down memory lane a little bit, and then a little nostalgia mixed in with a more modern day. So hopefully you're listening. What David Yostich is, what his storyline is, or what he certainly has in mind hear firsthand what the adventure is that he has in mind for these characters. But listen, I know MMPR is not. I definitely would love to know your guys' thoughts in the live chat or comment. Go ahead and participate in supporting Quantum Continuum. Definitely go over to our Twitter handle. You can definitely find some of the posts that we did. Feel free to like, retweet them, make your own post if you like to. Hashtag Quantum Continuum. Go ahead. Nothing is green as of right now, but hopefully we'll wind regards to it. Let's see here. Before out some of your guys' comments and see what you're saying in regards to this. Blossom says 8 episodes. Either way, it would be cool to see the Rangers again. I agree too, and I feel like just because of the fact that it's 8 episodes, it kind of fits that streaming world per episodes, maybe not too much to be all filler. If you've got the story that you want to tell it and get out sort of thing, right? So granted, while I definitely wouldn't mind like a 13 episode season, 15 episode season, I feel like streaming purposes is usually the kind of way to go. So I can kind of see this maybe being dropped on a streaming platform. Doomsday says, I can't wait for the Ranger reunion. We'll see if it happens. We'll see what happens. We'll definitely keep our fingers crossed for sure. Blossom says it's a shame that Toei's gone. I definitely David would certainly honor her with the idea of her certainly not being back. Are we going to get Karen instead to be sort of the Yellow Ranger for that time? I would be kind of curious to know how that's certainly going to work. JB says, "Hey, I see myself liking your tweet. Yes, you certainly did, sir. Thank you very much for that." We got Mike Knight Hero in the house. What's up, man? Thank you very much for certainly coming through. He says, if Quantum Continuum, could this open the door for other seasons getting the same treatment? For day, I can see something like a In Space, Time Force, maybe an RPM doing something like that. But I also want to say no at the same time, because MMPR has been in regards to just pop culture in everybody is certainly aware of, whether you're a Power Ranger fan or not, right? Like the casual viewer, when they think Power Rangers, probably thinks of MMPR. They probably don't think of Time Force or In Space. You know what I mean? Could it open the door? Probably. People that can really get away with this, especially worthy of Hasbro's time, probably is MMPR, just because of amongst people. Again, not to say, again, one of the things I just said, right, was Hasbro, let's get creative, let's do things differently. That certainly would be very much different and creative. Then maybe we can get some other seasons if they garner that sort of level of attention. So we'll see. What else we got? Right now, Marcelino, I'm trying to bring up your other comment. Here we go. To my knowledge, all the original MMPR cast are open to returning just under the right circumstances. Well, that's definitely good to know. I would definitely love to see that happen. The A Game 10 says, I think seen on screen together nowadays. I don't remember why though. Well, listen, both parties, I feel like um have maybe been trying to squash their beef. Both parties are saying like there's no beef between them, but just the even though they were at the Power Rangers 2017 premiere together, I do believe, like I remember seeing photos entirety of the team. Now, I don't believe that they were right next to each other. I could be wrong, but I do remember them at least taking pictures with the original MMPR cast. So maybe they're willing to do it. Maybe they're willing to do it. Each episode would be fine. Yeah, no, I don't think 2 hours episodes. No, I'm thinking tops for each of these. I mean, you're asking for a legit movie each episode, and I don't know of any streaming service that provides that right now. Boba don't even give them 2 hours an episode to express themselves, right? Like, even then, I'll get maybe 35, 45 minutes, maybe 50 if I'm lucky, sort of thing. So, yeah, I mean, as much as that would be great, Mike Knight Hero, I think the idea of 2 hour episodes each for 8 to 13, nah, I don't see that happen. If it is an 8 episode arc, probably anywhere between 35, 45, maybe even 50 minutes. We'll definitely see. I would service. What is Netflix doing? What is Amazon doing in regards to the length of their episodes? Definitely Also, shout out to Ticket Locker Group Food. What's up, Ticket Locker? Good to see you. Thank you very much for certainly coming through today. All right, guys. That was actually a story that I added last minute here. It wasn't necessarily what I episode off with, but as of yesterday, especially with David Yost supporting the tweets themselves, I got to think hopefully it was a great support that he wind up getting for Quantum Continuum. Even though we were trying to do the mass tweeting, go ahead and tweet Quantum Continuum. Definitely aware and would certainly love to see it if you definitely want to support it. And the one thing that I did love about it too was that, you know, all the tweets that were speaking of Power Rangers and David and Hasbro, they demanding things, or in a sense of being real Hasbro sort of thing. So definitely continue to keep it positive messaging and things like that, especially if you're big supporters of that concept. Moving into the next topic for you guys today. The pieces are moving when it comes to Hasbro, ladies and gentlemen. Unfortunately for Hasbro, we talked about this a couple of months ago. A huge impact on where Hasbro certainly is today. Wind up, unfortunately, passing away, dealing with cancer. I believe he wind up taking a leave of absence from his job. And the moment I want to say, like just shortly after he took a leave of absence, he wind up unfortunately passing away as he wind up losing his battle, sort of thing. And so, Hasbro, for the most part, while they definitely have had an interim CEO in place, you know, the big question is who is certainly going to be taking over the company next, right? Who's going to be having sort of this new vision for Hasbro and pushing them into the upcoming years. And so, ladies and gentlemen, it has officially There we go. My stuff is being a little bit slow today. Again, guys, I do apologize about the lagging or the buffering or maybe not the clear. My internet service is being a real pain in the butt recently. But there is a new Hasbro CEO in town, as Hasbro has officially promoted their digital gaming chief, Chris Cox, to the position of CEO, ladies and gentlemen. So we do have ourselves a new CEO. Chris Cox is certainly taking over from Brian Goldner and the current interim CEO. So let's go ahead and dive into this a little bit. Maybe we can learn a little bit more about this this guy in particular, see what some people are definitely saying about him, as this article actually comes to us from CNBC, their business side of things. Hasbro taps Dungeons and Dragons lead Chris Cox as new CEO. It says 3 months after the sudden passing of longtime CEO Brian Goldner, Hasbro has named its new chief executive. Chris Cox, who served as president and chief operating officer of the company's Wizards of the Coast and digital gaming division, has been promoted to the top leadership position. He will take over the post from the interim CEO Rich Stoddard on February 25th. So that's when Chris Cox begins his CEO duties, February 25th. Also at the time, Stoddard, who served as the company's independent director, will become chair of the board, and Eric Nyman, who has been with Hasbro for 18 years in various roles, will take over as president and chief operating officer. It says, having known Chris for years and working more closely with him these last several months, I have no doubt that he will be an extraordinary leader for the next phase of Hasbro's journey, is what Stoddard said in a statement on Wednesday. A storyteller and gamer at heart, Chris innately understands how to create and nurture brands to drive fans and consumer connections across channels. He is a highly strategic leader with vision, skills, and experience to unlock our brand blueprint for supercharged growth. I love hearing that, Stoddard. I love hearing that. It says Cox has been a part of Hasbro's team since 2016, working primarily with the company's Dungeons and Dragons, Magic the Gathering, and Duel Master franchises. Under his leadership, listen to this, Wizards of the Coast has become one of Hasbro's top revenue drivers. It has more than doubled since Cox took the helm and generated $1 billion in revenue last year in 2021. Prior to his tenure at Hasbro, Cox worked at Microsoft, leading teams to focus on MSN and Xbox games with franchises like Halo and Fable. Talk about great storytelling there. I mean, that's what Stoddard said, right? He's got an eye for storytelling. It says Hasbro has amazing brands, gifted storytellers, and unique entertainment assets, and I am humbled to step into the position of CEO at this important time and to build on strong foundation that Brian created, is what Chris Cox said in his statement. So, you know, look, guys, it says Cox takes over for Lake Goldner, a beloved leader who successfully drew Hasbro's business beyond toys and games and into television, movies, and digital gaming. Goldner's tenure was marked by a focus of leveraging the company's brands across all areas of entertainment industry, as well as the continuation of strong licensing relationships with major franchises like Disney-owned Star Wars and Marvel. So look, guys, I'm gonna be honest. You know, one of the things that I think is important to understand, you know, changing somebody at the top of a company is always nerve-wracking. You know, you never know exactly what that person's mindset is going to be. Did he agree with Brian Goldner in the direction in which the company wants to go? Does he have maybe some of his own ideas that he wants to start trying to sprinkle in, sort of thing? Or is it a combination of both, believing in what the vision currently is, pushing that forward, and maybe adding more to it, right? Anytime you bring in a new CEO, it is always a little bit worrisome in regards to, is the company going to continue to go in that direction? Do their investors believe in what Chris Cox can certainly do? Because at the end of the day, the investors just want to know, are you going to continue to put more money into my pockets, right? And that's really what Chris Cox has to kind of address here. But I love what some of the people that are supporting him are saying. The idea that he's an extraordinary leader for the next phase of Hasbro's and a gamer at heart. He innately understands how to create and nurture brands to drive fans and consumer connections across channels. For me, the fact that he's a leader, a visionary, has skills and experiences to unlock the brand blueprint. I think this is a really great position for Chris Cox to be in. And for somebody that, again, while I'm not even an RPG gamer, like a board gamer or a card gamer, it's hard to deny just how big Dungeons and Dragons, you know, Duel Masters, you know, what was the other companies that he worked on? Magic the Gathering, right? Like, it's hard to deny how massively successful those particular brands are. So you're going to tell me you're taking that guy that has launched off some really great creative ideas and really put these companies or these franchises in great positions to succeed, now coming on board and being able to get his hands on other content that and properties that Hasbro owns. I think that's definitely a big win, and hopefully will even put Power Rangers in a really great position to win also. I mean, listen, you know, we already got Power Ranger board games and RPG games, right? What was it here? We did have just one recent one, Heroes for something. I can't remember what it's called. But, you know, who knows? Maybe for you board RPG gamers, maybe there'll be more content like that coming to the Power Ranger franchise. But I do think, because of the fact that he is a visionary, I'm not necessarily worried in regards to the direction that Power Rangers is certainly going to be going down. I think when you've got people like a Michael Lombardo that's green lighting certain projects and stuff, and a really great core of executives working behind the scenes to find fresh, new material and content to certainly produce, I think Chris Cox seemingly does have that type of eye to know exactly what will work for Power Rangers, and not just Power Rangers, but other, whether that be GI Joe, Transformers, and really use his creativity to go ahead and help create some fantastic things, certainly going forward. So a big day for Hasbro, as again, Chris Cox has officially been announced as a CEO. He begins his duties on February 25th. I would be curious to kind of know, once that first quarter call winds up dropping for this year, really getting to hear sort of his point of view and his perspective on where he wants to take Hasbro, right? I'm hoping that some of the reporters there will ask questions about GI Joe, Transformers, right? Because Dungeons and Dragons, if I'm not mistaken, I believe they're in the works too. I don't know exactly how hands-on Chris Cox is with that Dungeons and Dragons movie, because I think it's like Chris Pine and a couple of other people that are going to be in that film too, that's working with Paramount. I would be kind of curious to see and hear from Chris Cox himself in the upcoming first quarter call, just to kind of see what his vision of Hasbro certainly is going forward. So, while there is always, like I mentioned, always a sense of worry in regards to somebody else new coming on board, hearing what the supporters of him are saying, hearing what Chris Cox is certainly saying too, I definitely do think he's got the mentality and the mindset to definitely help Hasbro to continue to succeed. And hopefully for us Power Ranger fans, just another ear and somebody else to hopefully take focus and pay attention to maybe the fandom in general, and really the direction that Power Rangers is definitely going in the future. So I'm really not expecting any big significant changes here. But again, there definitely will be changes to come, especially with a brand new CEO on board, and hopefully for the better. Hearing some of that, does that give you any levels of encouragement? Are you still a little bit worried? I definitely want to go ahead and know your guys' thoughts. Let's see here. Doomsday coming through. He says, rest in peace, Brian Goldner. Yeah, rest in peace, man. A huge influence. Whether or not, it's one of those things, whether or not Chris Cox will fill Brian Goldner's shoes, who certainly knows. It'll be interesting to see where he takes Hasbro from here, just based off of Brian's vision in regards to how much he helped Hasbro expand from just a toy company, and the personal relationships that he's built with over the years. Like the article stated, working with franchises like Star Wars and Marvel and things like that, getting into the more entertainment side of things. I really do hope that that's a mindset that Chris Cox continues to have, because I would love to see that really be pushed for Hasbro, because it feels like very much untapped potential. Gamers Force Ranger, what's up, Gamers Force? He says, what's up, Adam? Is Chris Cox going to work on Power Rangers season or not? Probably not, like as a writer. I wouldn't be surprised if he's not an executive producer, though. I think even Brian on Power Rangers, to a certain extent, I do believe that he probably would be listed as Doomsday does say, I wonder if Chris Cox will be able to live up to Brian Goldner's legacy. Very early, very out. Sarav says, looks like Hasbro will be in good hands. I think so too. I mean, just based off of what the article, let's see here. Changes in regards to that as of right now. What's up, Sam? Good to certainly see you in here. Thank you very much. We got Fonzie in the house. What's up, Fonzie? First patch of episodes of In Space are now much for the reminder. Power Ranger video games in the future. I think Chris Cox I would love to see more Power Ranger video games outside of just like fighting games. I think somebody asked me once team, honestly, and not necessarily like an MMPR team, but one where you can literally go to different planets and pick up Zords and customize stuff. Like I really like. I think of like Knights of the Old Republic or to see some level of RPG open world for a video game. So Chris Cox, um, Gamer Force, yeah, camera's lagging. Yes, that's something I mentioned very much at the top. My internet connection apologize if my camera's lagging, if it is in fact buffering a little bit. I am just right now off of Wi-Fi. It's been giving me problems over the past couple of days, so I am thinking I'm probably just going to have to invest in getting another Ethernet cable and hooking it up directly to my laptop, certainly going forward. So I do apologize about the terrible connection here. Hopefully, as we go through, I have a bunch of tabs open right now, but hopefully as we go through the remainder of this episode, hopefully it won't be as bad. So we'll see. But hopefully you guys can hear me okay at least. All right, guys. But yeah, definitely go ahead and let me know what you guys think in regards to the brand new CEO, ladies and gentlemen. And again, if you are joining us last minute, guys, feel free to join us over on our Discord community. Think of it very Discord. There is a link in the description box below. A ton of topics and areas for you guys to certainly discuss, not just Power Rangers in general. So definitely our YouTube channel, guys. So definitely go ahead and feel free to support. I think we gamers, I believe gamers just actually joined us. So thank you very much for joining us over on Discord. It might be a little bit bare. Make posts and comments wherever you certainly would like. People definitely will certainly reply, to certainly say the least. All right, guys, with that out of the way, we will start transitioning over to some tokusatsu news for you guys today. As more rumors, you know what, Adam, wasn't prepared for this. Let me see if I can bring this up. Or some more rumors that I wanted to talk with you guys about. Let me see if I can locate them. I believe this is it. Let me try and bring these up here real quick. As of right now, when it comes to Avataro Sentai Donbrothers. For those of you who are curious, this week's episode of Zenkaiger, episode number 42, is highlighting the first appearance of Don Momotaro. So we will be getting our very first appearance of the we will be doing a review for you guys this week also, so definitely stay tuned for that as well. But I found this over on jefusion.com. But shout out to the real Matt Hunt over on Twitter, who go ahead and see exactly who some of the casting rumors might have in mind for us already. So maybe some of these names are familiar to you guys. Maybe you are aware as to what they've worked on before. Maybe this is your first time hearing the names, but Avataro Sentai Donbrothers main team cast rumors. It says, now that we have already met the next Super Sentai team that will debut this year, it's time for some casting rumors. Be advised that this is still a rumor and it needs a grain of salt until official confirmation. Again, so this is just a grain of salt as of right now, guys. So take that into consideration. But for Don Momotaro himself, it looks as though it could possibly be Koya Honda. And I hope I'm pronouncing that name correctly. Again, guys, I'm doing my best to definitely pronounce these names properly. If I do butcher a name, I promise you it's not on purpose. But hopefully You guys know who I'm referring to. I believe he also appeared in the Garo versus Road TV miniseries in episode number 13. He's been in a couple of television miniseries as well. I believe the again, that's Koya Honda. I believe the real Matt Hunt even referenced the idea that while yes, a lot of these are grain of salt, he feels I don't want to say pretty confident about Koya Honda, but he says he's one of the few people that actually follow, I believe, the actor that plays Zenkaiser on Zenkaiser as well. So there definitely seems to be a connection there. So Don Momotaro could be played by Koya Honda. In regards to Oni's sister, we've got Yuki Miyoshi. Yuki Miyoshi. Let me see if I can pull up what she's been up to. Yuki Miyoshi. Let's see. I'm gonna go to her. Does she have an IMBD page too? Yep, she does. Let's see. A cutie, if you ask me, when it comes to Yuki Miyoshi, but she could potentially be playing Oni's sister. There's really not a lot of projects in here, honestly, for her. I see like one project, Magical X Heroine, Magi Majo. I don't even know what that is, unfortunately, but it was a television series back in 2018. That's all they have for her, at least on IMBD. Maybe they have something else for her that's she's been a part of, but she is an actress and a model. I am curious if this is going to be potentially maybe like one of the biggest roles that she's possibly had. But again, take these as a grain of salt. But it is right now rumored that for Oni's sister, with one of the cooler costume designs for Avataro, I got to admit, while I love Don Momotaro's peach and the hair knot, I absolutely love it. Him, Oni's sister with the spikes look incredible, especially with like the spiked shoulder pads. And I'm actually a big fan of the Blue Ranger, the gorilla one as well. I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but maybe they'll correct it. Saru brother, I believe is his name. Saru brother. For Saru brother, it looks like Terra Soma Masaki. So Terra Soma Masaki. Let's see what we got here for him. IMBD page. Oh, he's been in a couple things. Filmography. What has he worked on as an actor? It looks like he's had a. Oh, he's had a voice acting work for One Piece. A lot of voice acting work, actually. Yeah, he did the voice for Tyramigo and Real Soldier. So oh wow. Okay, yeah, he did a lot. He's definitely a voice actor for sure. Definitely a voice actor. So that should be pretty interesting. So we'll see what happens when it comes to Terasoma Masaki. We also have Inu brother here, Hamano Daiki. Hamano Daiki. What have you been up to, Hamano Daiki? And then last but not least, for Kiji brother, we've got Sugita Tomokazu. And it says, and as usual, the actors will consist of veteran and newcomer actors and actresses that have also worked as voice actors for various anime and tokusatsu shows as well. So that's our potential cast, ladies and gentlemen. Great looking group, man. Great looking group. I know some of the characters are definitely going to be CGI related also. So some of the idea of having voice actors certainly makes sense for those particular roles. But I'm really looking forward to it, man. I cannot wait for this series to certainly drop. I have been enjoying how Zenkaiger is certainly ending off its season. Not to say that I'm gonna miss it much, but I think the two characters that I have grown very fond of in Kaido along with Jurin are certainly coming along for the ride for Avataro, at least for the first initial episodes for sure. So I am thrilled that it's going to be a carryover as well. This is going to be sort of a quasi sequel to Zenkaiger. I think it's like the only second Super Sentai series that is like actually carried over from a previous one. I think the other one was Denji Man into Sun Vulcan, if I'm not mistaken. And now we've got this one with Zenkaiger going into Donbrothers and having that sort of connective tissue definitely going forward. So it should be fun. I am interested to see a new head writer, how they're going to certainly tackle this, these concepts and these ideas in a brand new vision, and having somebody else really taking care of these particular characters and writing them. So I am really interested to see how this is all going to certainly play out. Okay, yeah, here's some other brand new rumors. Oh, excuse me, guys. So brand new rumors from the real Matt Hunt. I'm dying here. Hold on. Choking on stuff. Okay. This is from the real Matt Hunt. He says, well, we got new info from the toy leaker, the toy meeting. This is confirmed info, but do take it with a slight grain of salt in the event of any mistranslations. So the peach symbol on Don Momotaro's head is metallic pink, not silver, which I think we can kind of tell from the photo alone. When I looked at it, at least from the promo video, I think that's one of the things that I looked when I mentioned. I was like, it looks like it's like a metallic magenta or like a metallic pink or something like that. It's a great look. So I like the idea that it's not silver, but it is a metallic pink. I'm curious why they went with pink and not like an actual peach color, but that's okay. The bike is not his henshin item. Its name is Enya Ride-On and has a bike mode and a robo half mode, which when combined with Jurin forms Zenkai O. And just for some clarification, let me see. I'm pretty sure I've got a picture of that up here somewhere. First off, I will show you the team again. Do I have the picture? Did I save it? Adam, you slacking, bro. Adam, you slacking. Okay, so this is the Enya Ride-On. This is the bike that he's referring to. So it's not his henshin device. It is a bike. And that this bike will turn into one half of the Don Zenkai O, the other half being Jurin from. Here's the photo of the team, the official poster that was released. And yes, you can tell it is a very much it looks very like a metallic sort of pink in regards to the peach that they were referring to. Don Momotaro will actually use the gear to linger to transform until March. So it looks like he might be using the same henshin device that Kaido and the rest of the team are using. After March, he uses the Don Blaster, which has two muzzles that rotate in firing. It can read Sentai gears, Avataro gears, and Avataro gear alters. It seems to resemble that Enya Ride does seem to be an avatar element to the transformations and back images to them. Continuing along with some of if I pull up this other one, Avataro gear. It transforms Don Momotaro into Don Momotaro Alter, a CGI robot. That's interesting. That kind of almost reminds me of the super mode for Zenkaiger and 2 Kaiger. The Zenkaiju, the Zenkaiju, but it's not that's not CGI. But the idea that the alter turns Don Momotaro into a CGI robot, that's interesting. Alters can summon mecha with those mechas. Okay. The Tokuger gear alter summons the Ichigo Risha. The Zuoger gear alter summon. Okay, so the legendary Avataro altars can summon mecha and allow the team combine with those mechas. That's pretty cool. I'm kind of curious to see like are all these characters like I wonder how far back of mechas are we talking here? Brother is a gorilla, which is in fact a physical suit. Also tell, let me see if I can because there was a Saru brother is a Oni sister uses a spiked club weapon, and you can see the physical suits. Let me see if I can pull this up here. You can see the physical suit for Saru brother. I'm loving the sleeves, man. I'm loving the beefed up sort of. It looks great. I really love the design. So again, the three designs I love: Don Momotaro of both of those. It also say Inu brother is a three heads tail cartoon with a shuriken. So Inu brother is the small little fox guy that you see in black at the bottom. I think he's going to be a fantastic show stealer, a CGI character, and Kinderman with wings that grow out is also a CGI character. So three physical suits at least in regards to yellow, red, and blue, and then the CGI is in fact going to be for pink and black. Now, I am curious as to whether or not for Saru brother, if when he's in his physical form, not his suit form, if he's CGI also. You know what I mean? Like, is he a CGI character out of his suit form, but when he henshins, he becomes a physical form? You know what I mean? I am curious if that's how that's going to work out. Outside of the says the Zen class sword is Don Momotaro's personal weapon, which I'm a big fan of that sword. Using an infrared data communication with the Don blaster, it can perform finishing moves. It should look pretty good, just based off of the looks I've seen already from just the toy catalog and the poster alone. His Zen class sword looks incredible. I can't wait to see what it looks like in action. Robot until June, which I'm kind of thankful for. Honestly, I feel come really big. Like they're always supposed to be pushing toys. I get that, but I always like power ups and new mechs to come when they absolutely need them. You know, in times of dire need. A tie of some kind. Also, I'll skip a little bit things. The Zenkai's till late June, so it's saying that late June he becomes Zenkaiser Black. He will get a new Change Heroes figure. So I'm assuming maybe with the new Change Heroes figure, maybe he'll get himself a brand new costume also. That certainly looks like. Can you imagine Zen Kaiser himself, like that same suit, but like instead of white, it turns. But I'm kind of pumped for it. I'm kind of pumped for it. But yeah, guys, I'm all on board with Don Brothers. Exception of the CGI characters, really. When I think of Inu brother in regards to Black, the Fox, the first couple of things that definitely come to mind, not only Rocket Raccoon, but also I am going to be curious to see what his personality is going to be like, but it is a CGI character I'm looking forward to. Slenderman, it's just freaks me out just looking at it. Not the biggest fan of this photo, honestly. It definitely looks some shadow kind of thrown onto the CGI characters. And I think for me, like if there is any, that's the worry, is in fact the CGI characters. And I've, you know, I saw them attempt to do a CGI lion in Kamen Rider Saber. Kamen Rider Lion, I believe, or Lio. When he shows up at the end of episode 1, Homeboy's literally riding a CGI lion. And it looked off to me. It looked super awkward to me. And implanted as part of a team, walking around sort of in the real world, interacting with other characters and stuff. I am curious as to how clean and how smooth that will actually look on screen, right? Like, is it gonna look so bad that it's just gonna pull me out of the episode because because the special effects just haven't caught up to what they're attempting to try and making this look really good. So, as excited as I am for Don Brothers, one of is something significant actually seeing it in live action. But like if this is what a still photo looks like, I there's a part of me that's kind of worried about what it might look like live action also. But I'm definitely going to give them the benefit of the doubt and see how it certainly looks. But regardless, and what's up, Trey? Appreciate you certainly coming through. Thank you very much for Discord a few days ago. Actually, thank you very much. I think I do remember you coming through the A games. Thank you, man. Enrique says, is the actor Damo Motaro will appear at the press conference in February? Yes. I would assume the entire cast is going to be present at the conference. We'll probably get ourselves an actual trailer as well, and maybe some more plot and synopsis for the series itself. So I'm really looking. Will this also comes from Trey? Will the Don Zenkai O, will it be the actual Don Brothers series, or are they just only using the be in the Don Brothers series? The going to be their main mecha, at least to begin off with. It's going to be a combination of the Enya ride-on, the bike for Don Momotaro, and the other half will be Jurin from Zenkaiger, combining the two together, similar to how they combine the two halves in Zenkaiger already. But the Don Zenkai O will in fact be the Don brothers. And your ride on kind of sounds like and you ride on. Yeah, it definitely does, doesn't it? I love it. I love it. Blossom says he's using the same morpher. It seems like it. To the slight grains of salt that we have, even though based off of what it said, the article said this was confirmation, but that it could be a slight grain of salt based off of maybe some mistranslation. So I think that's why he said slight grain of salt. So right now, if it sounds very much like Don Momotaro will be using the Gear to Linger from Zenkaiger as the morpher at least until June when he starts using the Dawn Blaster. So we'll see how that actually happens, though. We'll see how that actually works. Trey says the CGI in Zenkaiger made me not like. Blame you. I don't blame you. For me, Gigi as a CGI character, the bird, hasn't really bothered me too much. I think the CGI when it comes to the Zord battles, though, I'm mind the Zord, the attention to detail when it comes to the Zords and the big monster fights. It's the spatial awareness on the cityscape and stuff that, and it kind of takes away from the battle itself. It's not as enjoyable as I certainly would like the Zord battles to be as of right now, and it feels like that's definitely a route that they're probably going to be going with their battles. It might be more CGI Zord battles, which, another love-hate relationship sort of thing that I have with that. Gamer4 says, why Zenkai? I'm not quite sure why they're sticking around. Maybe I'm assuming maybe storyline purposes. Maybe something happens to them. Maybe they depart. Maybe they just help Don Brothers get on their feet a little bit. Who certainly knows? So I don't know why they are potentially leaving. Kind of meant to be that in the sense of, taking certain aspects of Zenkaiger, transition a little bit cleaner, which MPR, right? How MMPR led into Alien Rangers, and or how MMPR led, and then Turbo, and then that transition, carrying over some characters, introducing new people, new arcs, new weapons, new mechas, and then eventually going on to kind of their own concept. Again, this is only the second tackle that, but it has fascinated me. It has fascinated me. As long, I guess for me, my biggest worry was when it was announced as a Zenkaiger 2.0. My worry was, does that mean the same creative team is coming back? And that doesn't seem like that's the case. It looks like the creative team is going to be brand new. So I am expecting a different vision, a different mindset, a different tone, definitely heading into this series. So that definitely gives me through today as well. Thank you very much, Escroman. Again, I apologize about my feed if it's a today, guys. But definitely go ahead and let me know. Avataro Sentai Donbrothers set to go ahead and make its debut this upcoming March, I want to say 6th. Let me look at that. My calendar pops up. Yeah, I believe it's that March 6th that'll debut, or that 5th or something like that. Topics for the day, something that last two topics we'll go ahead and breeze through real quick as we transition over to some Kamen Rider news for you guys. As we've talked about it highly, Shin Kamen Rider is definitely headed our way. We've had a Shin Godzilla, which I've been preaching to the high heavens. You guys certainly try and find and check out for yourself. We've got Shin Ultraman that's actually finally going to be dropping this upcoming March, or excuse me, this upcoming May in 2022. Last year, but because to go ahead and push this particular movie back, and as of right now, and in May of 2022. But that's not the only Shin that's actually writers in big development here. We've been talking about it over the past several, and ladies and gentlemen, there's more information here. This comes to us from Tokusatsu. Let us know that Tasuku as Kamen Rider #2 in Shin Kamen Rider. Now, this is going to be heavily influenced from the origin story of Kamen Rider, which I'm kind of fascinated to go in, that they actually released a teaser clip for Shin Kamen Rider in regards to like the opening sequence, how they did a more modern version of it, but it's literally the same theme and opening of the classic Kamen Rider So they definitely are taking that concept and writers original series. There are two common writers in that particular series as well. So it seems as though they have officially cast their common writer number 2. Let's go ahead and dive into this news here. UsatsuNetwork.com. Great source of information, guys. Definitely recommend you check it out. I've got 3 places that I usually go for all my tokusatsu news: jefusion.com, Tokusatsu Network, and Toku Nation. Information. It says the year 2022 starts off with exciting news with Shin Kamen Rider. After giving us a visual teaser drawn by Mahiro of Kamen Rider 2 on October 10th, it left many fans curious as to who would play this role. And this was the image. Well, it won't let me pull it up here now, so that's fine. But that's the fan art that they did. It says on January 1st, it does say that Shin Kamen Rider heralded the new year by announcing Tsuku Imoto. So let's let me pull this up. Yeah, there we go. Oh, he looks great in that costume. Oh, wow. He looks great in that costume as Kamen Rider number 2. And you get to see them both up here together. You got Kamen Rider, the first one, on the left, and you've got Kamen Rider number 2 on the right. And this is current stuff here. This is like current filming, or at least current prepping for this particular movie. So these are some brand new images that we get the opportunity to see in this side, and Kamen Rider number 2 on the left hand side. Costumes. Clearly, they're different helmets, and you've got Kamen Rider number 2 with the cool like racing stripe down his pants and his jacket. So yeah, man, really cool stuff. I love the Tsuku Umoto wind up saying. He says, I honestly thought me as Kamen Rider 2 when it was decided. This feeling continued as I went through in that, oh, this is what playing Kamen Rider 2 is like, and my nerves skyrocketed. In the meanwhile, during preparations, I felt the original Kamen Rider's beauty, his intellect, his coolness. During filming, we proceeded while fighting the pressures of bringing the masterpiece, the original Kamen Rider, into the present day alongside the unconventional director Anno. There are cuts. Please look forward to this film. Oh, trust me, I am looking forward to this film. Again, it is directed by the legendary Hideaki Anno, who again take on these characters and bringing these characters into a more modern day. So they tackled him for all 3 of these projects. Shin Kamen Rider is scheduled to come out in theaters in Japan 3. So it looks like filming is underway, according to Tsuku Imoto, talking about his working with director Anno this entire time too. So it is currently being filmed, if not wrapped yet. So we'll be going in post-production soon and be ready to drop as of next year for us. So as we get more information when it comes to Shin Kamen Rider, we'll definitely go ahead. It is a movie I'm really looking forward to. Ever since I saw Shin Godzilla, I take these old properties from like the 70s and stuff and really revamp them for current time. Your thoughts. All right. Other than that, guys, we got one last topic that we're going to be breaking down for you guys. And this is, in fact, of Ultraman. That's right, guys. Ultraman is certainly almost here in regards to season 2 over on Netflix. I've been highly Ultraman season 2 on Netflix is set to go ahead and drop here rather soon. It is a CGI animated series, so if you guys are big into animation, this is something I definitely would recommend. But this news came out this week that a trailer has officially been announced along with a release date. I think previously did they reveal to us a post in 2022. So now we're actually getting ourselves an official release date. If you guys have not had the opportunity to check out, I definitely will go ahead and showcase it to you guys. I'll even put on. See, I'll keep the audio. I'll share the system audio too, so you guys can hear it as well. It says the first 2 has been released, with Netflix also revealing the highly anticipated season premiere on April 14th, guys. April 14th. So mark your calendars. Season 2 of Ultraman will be there. It says the new trailer together. Here, I'll go ahead and just put that up there for you guys. It says the new trailer highlights 6 warriors coming together to help trailer below. Oh, I love this shot. I gotta admit, watching season 1, I didn't know how I felt about the anime. I truly fell in love with it more and more. Here, I don't want to show the whole trailer because I ain't trying to get no copyright. But this is a sequel series, if you will, to the original Ultraman series. Like, it takes place a couple decades after the first. Oh, that's a cool shot. It's a Netflix 8, guys. So yeah, definitely go ahead and check it out. The action, I will say too, the action is pretty intense. I remember watching it from Ultraman season 1 trailer, or just the series in general. It's actually pretty intense, and I really did like the storyline as well. So I would recommend it to anybody that's definitely interested. If you are wanting to dabble a little bit more in Ultraman, I think this would be a really great place for you to certainly go ahead and do so. Again, this does take place after the events of the very first Ultraman series, and kind of picks up years after that. So yeah, just a nice little starting off point for you guys. But ever since I started watching Ultraman Trigger, it definitely has made me open to checking out more Ultraman content. And so I think before April, if anything, I might just go back and rewatch Ultraman season 1, maybe even post an Ultraman season 1 review up on our page before getting ready to tackle season 2. If anything, I might go ahead and actually check out that series. But let me know if you guys are even interested in checking out Ultraman. As much as we've been talking about it, I'm kind of curious if it's piqued your interest any more than it certainly has before, and something that you might be willing to go ahead and check out for yourself. But definitely go ahead and let me know. And again, the trailer for season 2 is online. If you want to go ahead and check it out for yourself, you can go ahead and find it certainly on YouTube. But all right, guys. Other than that, that will wrap up all of our topics here today. And also, just to give you guys a heads up, next week, I do believe next week will be our award show for Dino Fury second half of season 1. We did it for the very first half of season 1, where we gave out like awards, or at least best of sort of moments for the first half of season 1. We're going to be doing the same thing for the second of season 1 next week for you guys. So if anything, this week I'll probably be binging Dino Fury season 1 all over again, and bringing you guys some awards. Ramjan says, I've been watching Ultraman before. Definitely are very familiar with the franchise. I think that's pretty badass, Ramjam. All right, guys, and with that out of the way, now it's time to go ahead and get into your live viewer questions. Again, guys, if you ever have any live viewer questions, feel free to submit them over at any particular time to aplusmorphinominal@gmail.com. And let's see what we have. I know I got a lot of questions, so all right. Looks like we got a request from Harobi Jin. Recommending I watch. Would you mind also reviewing this movie too? Don't worry, you can still enjoy it without watching this series. It's basically what the Trigger series is based on, but 50% different. Okay, interesting. Interesting. I'm not really taking requests right now, Horobi, but you know what? Maybe after I get done with Trigger, maybe that's something that I'll some Ultraman content on the page. So I actually will. Got some live viewer questions updated. Happy news from Dino AJ. What's up, AJ? Certainly coming through. Greetings from the Philippines. Number one, what episodes or storylines would you like Becca and Alwyn or even writers in the future of Power Rangers to bring back? And do you think they can deliver in modern day, like ever bringing back Evil Rangers? That was what I was just going to say off the top of my head. Like, I do love the concept of Evil back, of that type of storyline. I would be completely open to it. In a more modern day, whether that be Becca or probably will trust future writers a little bit more, just so that you on that concept. But so I would love to see what other people have in mind of that. What's your what is your favorite traditional team up in Power? Huge favorites is Dino Thunder and the Ninja Storm team up Thunderstruck. It did so much things right while also progressing the Dino Thunder itself as a series and bringing closure to Lothor for good. Absolutely love seeing both a Wind and DT team battling each other when the Wind Rangers turned evil, just like classic Saban era team ups. It kept continuity intact. To cut this short, this is one of the best team ups in the Power Ranger Disney era peak, just a year after transitioning Power Rangers for Saban. Yeah, that was a pretty fantastic that was a team up, honestly. I definitely will give you that. Let's see here. They've had so many great team up crossovers because you're saying like um more traditional team ups, right? Like my mind automatically goes to like Wild Force, Overdrive, but that really like a traditional team enjoyed a lot. If anything, who I was definitely a big fan of Lost Galaxy. Probably that one, the to the 10th power and Power of Pink. That was a pretty good one for me too. And if anything, the Time Force and Lightspeed Rescue one. So those are probably some more traditional team ups that I was a big fan of. Oops, did I unlock another question? Hold on. My last question is: how would you feel if or react if Hasbro ever decided to cross over GI Joe, Transformers, and Power Rangers? We know the Megazords that can transform, basically Transformers in a way. I would be open. Comic book form wise, absolutely. Um, in comic book form wise, yes. Now, if you were to tell me motion pictures, nah, I'm good. I'm good. Comic book wise, I'll take it though. And I say no, I'm good in the sense that like I want if they want to do something like that movie wise, I would need them to sort of establish a world for themselves. Like I would need Power Rangers to at least 2 or 3 movies under its belt already, having established a world that they live in. Same thing. Transformers, they don't necessarily need to establish so much anymore. Need to improve on their part to even warrant something like that movie wise from even happening. Just like one solo movie of, hey, Power Rangers, Transformers, Jet. If they're going to do something like that, like a one off, just starting off, give me that in comic book form more than anything. Matthew Rivera, what's up, Matthew? Hey there, hello there. I'm congratulations to 1,000 YouTube subscribers, social media, and our fellow subscribers. Happy New Year. Hope you had a great Christmas and New Year's. If it's okay, I'd like. Well, thank you very much, Matthew, for certainly coming through. He says, it was awesome that Saban brought back and relaunched Power Rangers, but it was terrible that it was a copy and paste of its Super Sentai equivalent. I totally agree with you there. The main problem I have with Power Ranger Samurai is how Jaden didn't have issues with his sister when she came. Lauren came place, but because Jaden was okay with his sister taking over, I feel like he had been corrupted or became an evil ranger for a bit, like a monster gets into his head, starts whispering things in his ear. And made a lot more sense. His sister, if I'm not wrong, was protected while she was put in the line of fire, while he was put in the line of fire and presented as the heir. I feel like that should cause some tension at the least. I definitely see what you're saying there. And I just think it would have been sister for the right to be the head of the clan. That's pretty interesting. Jaden leaving caused because Decker just pretty much showed that he was a quitter and didn't care about being a Power Ranger. Like many people, Jaden should have been an Asian actor to make being a samurai more sense. Like Cam from Power Ranger Ninja Storm return as considering he was a samurai ranger and is Asian. But anyway, thanks for reading this and happy New Year. Thank you very much, Matthew, and I appreciate you sharing your thoughts on the Jaden situation for sure. I'm sure you're not alone. I'm pretty sure that moment kind of rubbed people the wrong way also. Adrian Perez has got a couple of questions. He says, if you were asked by a Power Ranger fan on social media and they told you that they don't like the new season of Power Rangers, in this case, Dino Fury, because they say they got fed up with how Neo Saban's season had been, how would you politely tell them that they should give Dino Fury a chance and it is actually doing things differently in today's adaptation? Well, for me, I would certainly say, you know, well, luckily for you, Saban doesn't handle Dino Fury any longer, right? Or Power Rangers for that matter also. So a lot of the critiques, a lot of the worries that a fan might have had during the Neo Saban season, because trust me, there were plenty issues with that. It seems as though Hasbro, for the most part, is taking much better care of the seasons, really doing their part to kind of push the envelope a little bit more in regards to letting the creative handcuffs that were on the writers during the Neo Saban era now unleashing them a little bit. New points of view and perspectives, incredible fight sequences, really sinking their teeth into much better long form sort of storytelling, and even including a lot of great Easter eggs and content from previous seasons for people to certainly enjoy also. So, I get the idea that some people might have fallen off of some of the new seasons, whether that be Beast Morphers or Dino Fury. But the Neo Saban days are over, and I can tell you the past two seasons without the connection to Saban for some pretty interesting and much better Power Ranger content than before. So definitely worth checking out. Today's adaptations do not feel like Neo Saban era any longer. So definitely check it out. This could be a follow-up to the first question. How did you react back when you learned from the interviews with Simon Bennett that he and the writers have received disturbing letters from angry fans during Beast Morphers about how Saban, Nickelodeon, and the writers have treated the by dumbing down the show and treating children as idiots, especially Monty from Ninja Steel? Would you yourself ask Simon to interview him on your channel? Yeah, I probably would. I probably would. I don't I think I don't remember how receiving letters like that. Disturbing letters from Beast Morphers or just the time with Saban and Nickelodeon. I can tell you what, though, if anything, it feels very much like Simon Bennett has listened, right? That can take creative criticism. And remember, creative criticism, not just asshole toxic fans that you do, but that he does, or that the Power Rangers has done, but the idea of concerns in regards to creative to certainly see differently, seemingly is in regards to that, because I feel like a lot of those issues that we had are very few and far in between when it comes to that. We still have a comedic duo, yes, but they're used sparingly, and they're not in every episode. And I feel like some of the Jane and Jay Borg stuff that we have gotten hasn't pulled away from moments or what's taking place in the series itself, right? So Simon Bennett has listened and he's made corrections, and I'm sure there are plenty more corrections and things that he certainly would like to make going forward if he has the opportunity to stay on board. Adam Perea, Dino Fury for me was one of the best. It was pretty fantastic. This series was truly one of the best seasons and is a great successor to Mighty Morphin. Totally agree. Dinosaurs are the theme again, a constant plot point that the Rangers are teenagers with secret identities. We have an evil Ranger struggling against the powers he was given. Tommy was back, and we got a fun recognition in the original Super Sentai content. That's right, with the Aba Ranger. That's right. It says these things, among more that aren't listed, really make Dino Thunder incredible. Tommy's brachio staff that is conveniently similar to Saba. It was also the first series where the Rangers' own parent, adopted father to Trent, was also the main antagonist, and a huge shocker to the Rangers, which also helped Tommy be a mentor he is since the beginning of the series. Tommy never forgot that he was once in Trent's shoes when he was evil. How do you think Dino Thunder would have been if it was a current series in modern day? It would have been great. It would have been great. I think Dino Thunder is one. I mean, even if you were to make some alterations to it, like setting, um, period, I think a storyline like that will always, will always. So I think it would have just been as great. Definitely timeless for sure. Hey, Naza, he's got a couple of comments here. Hi there, it's my first time here, so please excuse my thoughts. I've been wanting to talk to someone who are into stuff like this. Well, welcome aboard, game right, Ibisai. Abisai. I apologize if I'm butchering it. Zenkaiger has been for me pretty okay. As an anniversary, it's pretty good since it doesn't try to be Gokaiger 2.0 and tries to be its own thing, but shows much more could have done since half the team, the Kikainoids, who make the Kikai part, has so little focus. Zenkai, people who want Super Sentai to get canceled because they didn't like Zenkaiger. Also, comparing Zenkaiger to Gokaiger is dumb. Which I think Zenkaiger, mind you, it's actually not the Showa era. I believe it's part of the Reiwa era as of right now. I believe the Reiwa era began what, like, I think Real Soldier or Karamazor might have been like the first full season in Reiwa era. I could be wrong. It's not a season that takes itself too seriously. It doesn't really have much of a story, unlike previous seasons. So there are bound to be a few that just don't like that sort of thing. I feel like a good amount, the older viewers like seasons with more story, kind of like a reason to justify that Sentai is not just for kids, even though Super Sentai is a kid show. Just like Power Rangers, it is a half-hour toy commercial, but shows a little bit more maturity, like blood, curse words, and even Super Sentai has actually even cut out a lot of that too. Curse words, not so much. Blood, not so much. It's definitely gotten a little bit lighter. And not to say that's a bad thing, but it definitely has gotten lighter. I know people hate to hear this, but Zenkaiger has some of the most not so great designs, both in team and mecha, that we've had. He definitely does, but it's way too Noids on the team have really overly boxy looks to them, mecha or otherwise. While serialization is a big draw for a lot of Sentai fans, comedic seasons can be popular too. Zen, it's a show that's airing and doesn't really seem to be doing anything notable. Evil Power Ranger and Two Kaiser was. I definitely share some of your same sentiments. Zenkaiger for me is very hit or miss at times. It doesn't have a got the idea of, hey, we gotta find Kaido's mom and dad, and that's just like that. And then the Stacy's our storyline is just like the running trend throughout but it very gets very little focused on majority of the season. It may be like just a little in maybe one or two scenes out of the entirety of an episode, and it's like that all season long. Um, I feel like it's picking up a little bit more towards the end of the season for sure, but it's not really doing too much in regards to, you mentioned, being quite notable. So again, there are moments, and again, that's why I think why I have no problem with comedic and overly relaxed Sentai seasons. Those just usually aren't my cup of tea. I like something that's a little bit more well balanced, right? Like for me, I felt like Karamazor was a great balance to the lightheartedness, having some fun, but also a really concrete story that seemed really well thought out, and week to week had some really great, like, moving that particular storyline forward. Really dark elements, really lighthearted elements. Karamazor to me is just for Super Sentai. So have to be full dread and things like that. It's all about a balance. But when it comes to Zenkaiger, for me, it just feels very unbalanced. For sure. But for me, at least, and again, this is just for me. If you guys love Zenkaiger, more props to you. I'm glad that you guys are enjoying it certainly as much as you are all the time. I think that's why we've got a love-hate relationship. Because sometimes I feel like it tries when it wants to, and other episodes it's just like it feels like they just melded in. You also asked, do you feel like when it comes, they're used as holiday episodes that are often very, I don't know what that word means, but the current season is doing them very well. I know episodes that don't really do anything for the actual series. Yeah, I do feel like I want to say between Dino Fury, I really have enjoyed a little bit better for sure. Do you agree Tommy Oliver as the Black Ranger was the best version of him in Dar? He learned so much from his be an incredible mentor to the Dino Thunder team, understood which each of them went through, most especially with Trent Mercer, who chance and if they make really huge mistakes, as well as when Trent was slowly losing his life due to Zentrax creating an evil clone of him as the White Ranger, but pure evil and no humanity in. I'm glad that you love Tommy Oliver in that role as the Black Ranger. Really great mentor and a great costume. For me, at least, my best version of him, I think, is the White Ranger. I think the stuff that he went through as the evil Green Ranger, he, I think the idea of him getting that second opportunity, becoming the White Ranger leadership role for me, like the White version of himself. You know what I mean? And I'm actually a big fan of. Not to say that that's my favorite version of Tommy. It's probably the White Ranger Tommy, but that's just me. That's just me. Jessica Fry, would you like to turn into Power Rangers one day? Well, look, Die Ranger, that is getting some sort of adaptation in the sense of Boom Studio Comics. I think they're using that Die Ranger, Tommy's White Ranger powers in older Super Sentai season that I will opportunity to. I think Jetman would be pretty cool to see. I would love to see that design brought to a more modern day. Give me Jetman. Give me Jetman. Johnny Marrero. What's up, Johnny? Happy New Year. I have two questions. I heard rumors that Power Rangers is leaving New Zealand. We talked about that. I think we mentioned that idea, some one of the rumors back in the day. I think when we were looking towards maybe when we were reading like potential and theories for season two lines. I think I can't remember where they came from. They might have come from Reddit or someone online random. I don't know if any of that stuff was confirmed, but because I remember the idea of us bringing up the question like, "Oh, moving to New Zealand, does that mean Simon Bennett is packing up his bags and going? I'm in no hurry or something like that, or I'm not going into any place in any hurry sort of idea." So I don't know if that was Simon Bennett poo-pooing on the move out of New Zealand, because I think they reference the idea maybe moving production over to Canada, which makes a lot of sense. Like it makes a lot of sense. Canada's a huge country for production right now. New Zealand's a really big spot also, but there's a part of me that would like to see it come back either here to North America or either here to or more than fine. I get why they are doing it in New Zealand. I believe it's much cheaper. You know, I don't know if Simon Bennett would ever want to move to the States or ever move to Canada for filming, but it is a rumor. And if it is a rumor of it moving to New Zealand, I guess it would be where they're going to be moving to. And I think I heard part of that theory or rumor was the idea of maybe Canada. So they are going from New Zealand. It definitely would make sense. I would be completely on board with it. And for me, at least, I think it might take care of maybe issues that we've had with the idea of, if we want to bring back past actors, I don't know if anything has to do with the union or not, but maybe an easier commute. I'm sure you probably still need your visa or at least a passport or whatever the case may be. I just think it probably would be easier for those type of things to certainly happen. So, I don't know if the rumors are true or not. It feels plausible though. I would be on board with it if they did move from New Zealand though. And thank you very much. There's nothing wrong with New Zealand. Thank you for the beautiful time and the amazing. I would love to visit someday for sure. Second question: if you don't get the new Power Ranger movie series in 2023, do you think we will see Zoojer adaptation or David Yost's Quantum Continuum? I personally would be okay with the idea of them giving us both of them. I don't necessarily know if the Quantum Continuum would even be ready by 2023. I guess it would just depend. They did say that talks are in the midst of happening, but nothing has been officially greenlit, according to David Yost back in December when he talked about Quantum Continuum. So maybe a possibility. I would be open to the idea of both of them happen. I think there is room in the world where both projects could certainly be happening. So we'll see. Ram Jam, what's up, Ram Jam? He says, I have a couple of questions. The new CEO of Hasbro, what direction do you think the new CEO will take Power Rangers? Well, I'm hoping that he continues to stick to the formula that Brian Goldner and them sort of laid out in regards to their blueprint to growing the world. There's a part of me that doesn't think that Chris Cox will change anything in a sense of like removing what's there. If anything, I'm hoping that he would sort of help add to the creative process of what's going on. And, the idea of him being so creative with working in the realm of Dungeons and Dragons and Magic the Gathering and stuff, like I would be really interested to see maybe some of those concepts and introduce them into Power Rangers, right? Maybe helping even a Jonathan Entwistle open up the world a little bit more, coming up with other creative ideas in regards to how to tackle it. Again, I don't know exactly how hands-on Brian Goldner was, with storytelling purpose. Jonathan Entwistle and the writer kind of create, and he kind of gives the approval. Again, I'm pretty sure Brian Goldner would have been an executive producer on the new Power Ranger stuff. So I don't really know how included is out to Jonathan Entwistle, maybe seeing what Jonathan has created so far, and maybe adding there and really kind of making sure the world that they're creating really kind of hoping that if anything, he's not removing things from that concept for the direct add to it. And who knows, maybe for you RPGs and stuff, maybe you'll get more of that type of content too. Who knows? Do you think Stacy would be a part of Don Brothers? That's a good question. I don't think so. I think somebody else significantly. Uh, might end up just having his story arc completed in Zenkaiger because he does seem to be a big focus on it in it. So I think his story will come to a conclusion and then we'll kind of move on from there. So I'm not expecting Stacy from all the things that I've read from just the toy catalog and change. Heard any mention of it's just Kaido and Jurin that's coming over, but of Gigi possibly coming over because that bird is up to something. Zenkaiger were rangers instead of Kikainoids, and instead of the traditional color scheme, the helmets and suit resemble. Helmet would be a classic MMPR red with Dragon Zord suit one side green, Wild Force, Mystic Force, and RPM. Maybe their morphers can transform them into traditional Megazords. I think for me, I probably would have preferred them to be more traditional Rangers, but I appreciate the attempt in doing something different, right? I mean, I feel like as Super Sentai fans, I think we've been asking for unique and new things. And I got to give it to Toei for at least trying new things. It doesn't necessarily mean it's always going to succeed, but the fact they're at least making an effort to something new, I can't really argue about that too much. And if anything, I think seeing them as Kikainoids have even allowed me to in how they maneuver around in their costumes, especially when it comes to their fighting styles and stuff. I mean, that shit is impressive just to see them, you know, rolling around and jumping around in these big boxy A for effort for sure. I'm pretty much with it, but you know, I would love the traditional more Rangers instead of Kikainoids, but I appreciate them just trying to be different. And then last but not least, Doomsday says, "Why do you think TJ got his own special day in the Rangerverse? TJ has his own special day. What, he was the first Black Red Ranger, so TJ deserves a special day in Rangerverse. He truly does. The first Black Ranger, a Black Red Ranger, mind you. Um, who do you think was the absolute worst comedic duo? Oh, probably Vic and Monty. I mean, God, I could not. I cut my throat already. Jesus. Um, when you watched the finale of Turbo, were you expecting it to end on a cliffhanger? Or God, that's a question like back when I was like in my teens, man. I barely for Turbo because I try and block it out of time. I guess adaption wise, they probably did a pretty good job because I believe people have told me that when it comes to was it Turbo Ranger, it was a pretty comedic season. So I can see maybe why Turbo took the tone that it definitely did. But I can tell you right now, I wasn't expecting a cliffhanger. I didn't know how it was gonna lead. The idea that I think it leads off right with them launching off onto a rocket and going into space. I was like, "What the is happening here?" I just remember being excited for how the cliffhanger led me to the idea, like, "Oh my god, I was just a big fan growing up in the day of just seeing the continuity going from one season into the next and keeping these characters and bringing them over sort of thing. Like that for me was like the money maker for me. I was always a big fan of that. So, seeing them get into the rocket and me blasting out in space, yeah, I had no idea what to expect, but I was hyped for it. I was hyped for it. All right, guys. Believe it or not, I believe that's all the questions that we yeah, I believe that's all the questions that we had, guys. So thank you very much for everybody's continued participation. Let me see if you guys what's up, Elliot? Appreciate you coming through. Uh, Elliot says, "Are you excited for Dino Fury season two?" Very much so. I was a big fan of how season one ended. Having the Rangers ready just to get back to business out there. A lot of questions that they certainly still have. Lord Zed's out there. Void Knight, I'm sure, is certainly still out there. Santora is definitely out there. More questions in regards to Rafcon, brewing relationships, possibly more involvement from some of the supporting characters. Man, there's a lot more Commander Shaw popping up at some point. In time. Just the way that the cast is talked about, like, hey guys, if you enjoyed for what season two has in store for us, so I can't imagine what's definitely coming, but I'm here for it. I'm here for it. Common Writer says, based off, what's up, Common Writer? Appreciate you coming through. Um, Based on what it looks like, could Don Brothers be adaptable? Now, again, I'm very much under the belief that after Dino Fury, with the exception of possibly Zoo Ozier, we probably won't be getting any more Super Sentai series that's being adapted. I believe if you believe what theories that have been going around, that Hasbro only Super Sentai up until Real Soldier. It feels best like anything after Real Soldier will not get adapted. But fingers crossed, crazier things have certainly happened. But could it be adaptable? I mean, if they got the rights to it, maybe. I guess we'll have to see how it looks, right? I mean, you're introducing CGI characters now. You're basing it off of a Japanese you know, I feel very much like it should be its own thing. I don't necessarily, the suits look like something I would love to see adapted for sure. I just don't know how it would work, especially the idea of three CGI characters. How would you even implement that into here in the States? I have no idea. I wouldn't want to tackle it. I would say no. I personally would say no. All right, guys. I think other than that, uh, I think that'll do it for us today here, guys. So thank you very much for certainly coming through as always. Always great to be able to sit down and talk with you guys each and every weekend. And it's good to certainly be back for the new year. So January has a couple things in mind. We probably, if anything, will be doing a full Dino Fury season 1 review for you guys sometime this month. We also right now plans are to potentially do Beast, excuse me, I was about to say Beast Morphers. I know Fury awards for next weekend, and either the awards next weekend or done. I look forward to that. But we got a lot of stuff certainly coming your way. And of course, any other Power Rangers news, Tokusatsu news, we'll definitely go ahead and keep you guys posted. Once again, guys, if you haven't had the opportunity to join over us on Discord, there, a link is in the description box below. We're all list. I put together an Amazon wish list. Also, there is a link in the description box below. If you guys want to go ahead and contribute to the building of this models. On the other side, I've got some DVDs and pop figures that you guys can't see over on this side as of yet. We will be messing around with camera angles. I want to put everything together first before vibe sort of thing. So if you guys want to certainly help out on things on a wish list, if you're feeling generous and you want to go ahead and add something so one day you can say, oh, I got that for that guy, look, he's showcasing it off in the back. Definitely go ahead and help a brother out from here as we continue to up our production value here for our show, guys. Maybe I should put an Ethernet cable on that goddamn wish list too. But anyway, guys, maybe I'll even add like get Adam a coffee or something like that, because you guys know I love me a good coffee to help me get through some of these early mornings. But we'll see, guys. We're definitely continuing to grow our channel here, and we couldn't do it without your guys' support. So if you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, give us that big thumbs up. And after this video streams, feel free to go ahead and comment, and we'll definitely continue our discussion through the rest of the week until next time. But until then, guys, as always, do me a big favor. Take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and keep it A+. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.